All right, again, for this next problem, we are going to be solving by elimination. So again, we're going to add our equations together to eliminate our variable. So looking at our x's, we would need a common factor between 2, -3, and -5. So that means that we would have to multiply all three equations by something to make that happen. Again, here we would need a common factor between 3, 5, and 4. So we'd have to multiply all three equations again. Here we would need a common factor between -1, 2, and -5. So again, we're probably going to end up multiplying all three equations. So it doesn't really matter which variable we choose to eliminate. I'm going to choose to eliminate z just because of that -1. So this one will be easier to multiply by, or to find a common factor. Okay. So if we start, so I'm going to number my equations to make my work a little bit easier to follow. So to start with, I'm going to add my first equation to my third equation. So we're going to take equation 1 plus equation 3. Okay. So looking at this, again, we are trying to eliminate z. We need these two numbers to add to be 0. So I'm going to take my third equation and I'm going to multiply it by a -5, and then we would be able to add these together where the z's cancel out. Okay. So I'm going to write that. So we're going to take equation 1 plus -5 times equation 3. Okay. So equation 1 I'm just going to rewrite. So 2x plus 4y minus 5z equals 18. And then if I take -5 times everything, -5 times -5 is 25x. And then minus 15y plus 5z. And then -5 times -17 is going to be 85. And then we're going to add those together. So this would be 27x, and then minus 11y. Again, my z's cancel, which is exactly what we want to happen. And then 18 plus 85 is going to be 103. All right, so since I've used equation 1 and 3 already, I have to use equation 2, and I have to eliminate z again. And then we can choose to either add it to the first equation or the third equation. So I'm going to add it to the third one because it'll be easier to find a common factor between 2 and -1. Okay. So again, I'm going to take equation 2 plus equation 3, and I am going to need to adjust them a little bit. So this bottom equation, I'm going to multiply by 2, and by doing that, when we add, the z should cancel. So equation 2, we're going to leave the same. And then we're going to add that to equation 3 after we take it times 2. Okay. So equation 2 again, we're just going to rewrite. So -3x plus 5y plus 2z equals -27. And now we're going to multiply the bottom one by 2. So 2 times -5 is -10x. 2 times 3y is 6y. 2 times -z is -2z. And 2 times -17 is -34. So again, we're going to add these together. So that's going to give us -13x plus 11y. Again, our z's cancel. And then if we take -27 plus a -34, that is going to be a -61. So again, just like with substitution, once we get to this point, we're going to combine our two new equations together. So we're going to take this one and this one, combine them together into a new system, and we're going to solve that. So 27x minus 11y equals 103. And then -13x plus 11y equals -61. So now we can choose how we want to continue. So we are either going to continue solving by elimination or substitution. So looking at this, if I just keep the equations as is and add them together, the y's will cancel. So that's what we're going to do. So 27 plus a negative 13 is 14x. And then again, our y's cancel. And then 103 plus a negative 61 is 42, so equals 42. And then we would divide by 14 to get 3. So that's our x value. So once we have our first variable, again, we're going to go back to the system with just 2 variables, and we're going to substitute our x in, and then simplify to find the y. And again, it does not matter which problem you choose. So I think I'm going to choose the second one just because the numbers are a little bit smaller. So we would take negative 13 times 3 plus 11y equals negative 61. Okay. So 3 times negative 13 is going to be negative 39 plus 11y equals negative 61. And then we would have to add the 39 over. So if we add, we would have 11y equals negative 22, and then we would divide by 11, so y would have to be negative 2. And then once we have 2 variables, we go back to the original equations, where there's 3, to find our last variable. So again, I can pick whichever one I want for the equation. So let's just pick the third one. Okay. So if we use equation 3, we are replacing x with 3 and y with negative 2, and then we're just simplifying. So it would be negative 5 times 3 plus 3 times negative 2 minus z equals negative 17. So negative 15 minus 6 minus z equals negative 17. So this will be negative 21 minus z equals negative 17. And then we would add 21 over. So that will be negative z equals positive 4. And then we would have to divide by negative 1. So z equals negative 4. And then again, we're going to take our x value, our y value, and our z value, and write our answer as an ordered triple. So final answer will be 3, negative 2, negative 4.